What did I just say, Daggy?
Oh, ho, ho.
Dude, even better. The Camille, I didn't think about because I don't normally associate Morgan with the Camille, but taking the matchup into the Wukong, we've seen this once before.
Well, the thing is, we actually haven't seen Morgan go towards a lot of these split push plays.
That's
It's
right.
like Orin, Renekton, Wukong, Cess, these kind of guys that are more, yes, you've some split push, but more about that team fight.
And how funny it is because DMO, natural was the Camille
true, yeah.
top laner, right? And it's Chelizi. So Morgan's like, let me show you how it's done with natural watching in the sidelines.
And now you've got this composition that can play very heavily through these side lanes. So Morgan and Teacherma can both create this pressure, and Teacherma either joining in that 4v4, but also you don't have a great answer on DMO's side for trying to match this side lane pressure, because your Cassiopeia is one of your big disengage tools in this comp. So if she's trying to match Teacherma on this side lane, well, it becomes a lot easier for the side of WE to force these engagements.
Because it does definitely feel like DMO want to force the full-on 5-on-5s, right? Where we've got the side of WE, they've got a Camille top, and we know Camille 2-3 items, how much power she can harness within the split push, plus the attention to that side lane. Very easy for WE to get her ahead, or should I say, push the momentum in that mid game.
And I think this is where we're going to see a bit of an interesting play coming through from the jungle in particular, because Volibear does lose out to Lee Sin in the early stages of the game. You've also got in the mid lane, at least Teacherma can kind of keep pressure against Twila, but he can do a reasonably good job of shoving in against this Twisted Fate. So there is the potential when we look at this that Xiaopeng and Twila can take over through mid and start to really put the pressure onto beishang. And a Volibear who's behind is not that great. I mean, the only one where I've kind of seen the success on is actually JJ from EDG, who managed to get through the early game in the Volibear, but you are susceptible to a lot of pressure early on this pick.
I just love in the police skin how he's got batons on his back, and they start ringing when he presses Q. A nice little touch-up, but welcome back to the Rift. Oh, he also flies.
I'm just, like, when I look at Volibear in the remake, like, I think it looks really, really cool, but it's got to be, like, a pain to try and get dressed with these massive jagged things out of your back, because in some of his skins, he's got, like, a bunch of different clothing on. I'm just like, I don't know how that works. It's the D&D spell, the Eldritch.
Okay, 1,000 Pierce Eldritch, whatever it is. It's something about 1,000. No, I'm getting drinking game for sure.
I was one of them.
Oh, but you were on cars. What were you doing
Look,
behind
I'm Irish,
the mic?
all right? You got the flask, you know, dipped into the pocket. You're good to go.
All the Irish people watching this will be like, thanks for stereotyping us. We're finally back in the game, folks. Sorry about the delay once again, as Ward going to start out WE's camp, and that means clearing it away is a good start of CS for Jiumeng. Let's look across the board. Conqueror this early on. Twila builds it up nice and early.
Grasp of the Undying from Morgan as well, so well aware when he gets that level 6 point that he's going to want a little bit of a bigger health bar, because Wukong does have a lot of pressure that he can create, but if you can time that slingshot correctly, or hookshot even as Morgan, you can get out of that. It's just kind of difficult to do.
Talked a lot about what Grasp of the Undying is, the lane rune. Get the extra bit of health plus the massive damage that comes through as another pause. Another pause.
Basically, the way this game is going to go is
now I'm getting fired.
It's claymation. That's what we're doing. You know, it's like you get a little bit further, and then we have to pause so that then the production behind the scenes can come on and change everyone slightly.
Across,
yeah. It's an arduous task, but honestly, they make for great movies. Like Wallace and Gromit, fantastic.
Was that claymation?
That's claymation, yeah.
Claymation, sorry, claymotion.
It's such a great movie.
That is a good movie. What else?
Chicken Run 2 is coming out.
Oh, I heard.
Yeah.
Like 30 years later.
I know,
or
and like not many people, or maybe there's a few people in chat, but like there's definitely going to be some people who are like, what the hell is Chicken Run? It is a fantastic claymation movie. Well worth having a watch. Dude, if you got some extra time. This is more hype
than when Finding Dory came out. Like, because Chicken Run is a classic, right? Yeah. And Finding Nemo in its own right, one of the best movies in the world. Anyone goes against it, they're wrong.
Also, Chicken Run was slightly terrifying as a child, because like,
it
was like, hang on a second,
they almost got turned into chicken pies.
Yeah, it is terrifying.
Also, I love the husband in that movie, you know, because the mother, you know, the woman, she's super scary. Yeah, the wife was super scary.
Oh, she's terrified, yeah.
But you know, the husband, he's a bit of an idiot. Like, I'm going to go back. I think what we do is you do the classic, like you do with a Star Wars movie, or what's another good example? Maybe like a Pirates of the Caribbean. Lord of the Rings is a better example, like a Hobbit. You watch the old one, you watch the first one, and then you run it into going and seeing the new one.
Yeah.
There's only one movie to watch, and Chicken Run is a classic. And also, that's where as a kid, I learnt one of my favorite songs. Just learned of it. Is what is it called? I'm the type of guy likes to roam around. The Wanderer. The Wanderer. I heard in that movie, which is actually a song about it's a kids movie, but that song's actually about getting around. So
that movie, how have you looked at old TV shows and movies? I don't know how these have managed to get the ratings that they got. Even if you look at Shrek, going back and watching that now, the amount of references and stuff where you're like, holy what? I had zero idea what this meant.
Dude, there's adult jokes in there, and that's what I love. A good children's movie has jokes for the adults that have to sit through it and watch it with their child. Yeah. That's when you know you made a good kids movie, right? The Shrek movie is a great example. Finding Nemo in there's a lot of cool little adult jokes.
But even Rocko's Modern Life and stuff growing up was all the same as I think Rugrats. Yeah, Rugrats had some in there as well. Dude. It's
That's great. I kind of miss the carefree days, sitting in a nappy, watching TV. Mum would cut the crusts off of my toast.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. I remember my mum used to get she had these big silver cutouts, and she'd make Teletubby toast for me.
Oh, no way.
I don't know if you have the Teletubbies in Ireland.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Tinky Winky dipstick or whatever.
Dipsy, Lala, and
That's
Poe.
the one.
Come on.
I'm sorry. She'd make me Teletubby
that was
toast.
becoming a really nice nostalgic story. And you just gone for dipstick.
I genuinely forgot the other one's name, but we are back into League of Legends. I will just say the cutout of Teletubby toast made it so that they had little eyes, and I used to eat them, which is kind of sinister in its own right, isn't it? I used to eat the Teletubbies, and it tasted like Vegemite, which I kind of miss being here in China as well. But welcome back. Beishang, of course, the Volibear jungle was something we were going to talk about, something that we are seeing more and more of here in 10-13. Le Yen, now on Vici Gaming, has most popularly been picking it out as Xiaopeng is back on a favorite, and Teacherma is going to get some similar love. Flashes away instantly, and Xiaopeng back to the mid lane in game 2.
And look, this seems to be the game plan from DMO from now on. And Xiaopeng, you're on mid lane duty. You're just basically a second support here for the start of the game. Now, at least this time around, beishang, because he is on the Volibear, and it was more of a transition gank for Xiaopeng. He's not going to be put too far behind when it comes to the farm, and should be able to clear still a lot faster.
Hey.
Now, we're pulling out the claymation guys again.
Yeah, guys, reset. Scene 4. Hey, notice...
Scene 4, Act 3, or Take 3, go!
Do you notice Teacherma has actually got demolished on the TF? We get to see the Faker
build.
Oh,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes. I love this one. So, I mean, it just means that they're doubling down on this split push, right? Because all they want to do is have Teacherma put off in the side lane. When you go... So, usually when you go for this build, you decide to delay the Zhonya's Hourglass. Going instead for your Rod of Ages, Lich Bane into the Rabadons, because the Rabadons obviously gives you so much more AP, which is great on its own for taking down structures, but also gives you more AP on your Lich Bane, so you just end up doing a whole heap of damage. So it works really, really nice. We'll have to see if that is the direction that they decide to go, but we already said, look, makes sense. WE, they know that the enemies are going to try and go for some sort of match with the Cassiopeia against that Twisted Fate, but honestly, if Cassiopeia is off in the side lane trying to match, you're already winning because you can just go and join in a fight, or you just win out on how quickly you can take these structures.
And we are waiting for another pause. Obviously, it's an ongoing issue that is still trying to be resolved, but we don't have much information. It's always difficult, of course, down on the ground there in Hongqiao. Just for context, where our studio is, we're about an hour away by traffic. Hongqiao in another part of the city. Of course, we're in the middle of Shanghai. Shanghai's huge. Have you done much exploring while you've been here?
Massive. It baffles my mind how big it is, because obviously coming back from Ireland, we by default are relatively small. So for anyone who doesn't know, we've only got about 8.5 million people in the entirety of Ireland. So our capital city, Dublin, is 1.5 million people, I think, at the moment.
Wow.
So it's a relatively small. So
Shanghai's got 27.
Yeah,
it's got a fair more than the whole of Ireland.
That's what, when you think about the amount of people that are here and the stretch of land that Shanghai covers, it is baffling to me, especially when my hometown is this tiny little shipping farmers village.
Yeah.
That is basically just a case of like, I remember I got one of the lads down, he lives in town one of the days, and he got off the train and was like, Jesus Rob, what's that smell? Like, it smells horrific here. And I was like, I don't understand. It's like, it smells fine. And then realized like 2 minutes later that they put manure onto all the fields, and I just gotten so used to the smell.
Oh my
that it
God.
didn't matter.
You're a farmer's
So like,
boy.
yeah, this is the things that I'm used to. So when I come to the big city, I come to Shanghai, I'm just like, holy moly, this is a lot of concrete.
When you use the word manure, all I think about is Back to the Future with Biff going, you know, I hate manure. Oh, man.
Yeah, so like basically if you get off the train at mine, you drive past all the sheep and the cows and whatnot as you
and
get
all the
towards
combined
little
mess that comes with it. That's,
Yeah.
that's the country life. Well, I stick my head out driving north from Sydney back in Australia, and sometimes I smell a bit of dung, but, you know, mainly I smell the fresh air, so I'm sorry I can't really not sympathize, but line up with that. But, yeah, come back to, have you actually seen any Shanghai? Because
I've seen a little bit. Like we've gone, so where
you and
I've
I
gone
have done
towards
some trips together.
Shenzhen.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of that. I've seen a little bit of Jing'an. Well, Jing'an's kind of where all the bars and the restaurants and all are.
I mean, Jing'an's big, though. Like, because
Yeah. I mean,
Jing'an, for anyone who doesn't know, is like the main portion of Shanghai.
and it is constantly expanding, just
Dude,
like absorbing other
the amount of
districts
drivers
into
that have been
it.
like, no, you live here. They'll be like, no, is this Jing'an? No, this is somewhere else. Oh, yes, this is Jing'an. Oh, no, this is like Jiabe. Oh, no, this is Baoshan. I'm like, where am I?
Where do I live?
Jing'an is absorbing everything. It's kind of fun because when people talk about like the best places in Shanghai, usually it is Jing'an. So a good area to anyone who wants to explore China someday, especially in the realms of Shanghai. I think
Especially down towards like West Nanjing Road and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Jing'an Temple's there. You got all your nice shopping malls. We went to that gorgeous place that does the ribs, Tenten, that does unbelievable Hunan style ribs.
bit of
It was
a
so
shout out.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll sponsor us next time we come around.
Hey, look, I'm fine with that. If we're here to get a little bit more, but
Get some of those ribs.
there is a part of me that wants to do like, because I'm a big foodie, like I love
Yeah.
exploring these places. Part of me wants to do like a little bit of a blog on the side that does like some of the food places we've
Dude,
gone to.
I mean, like, we're just for the audience purpose. Obviously, we're doing a lot more content. Really cool to see that we're doing more of the podcast. You know, we got a brand new podcast, Last Hit. If you haven't already checked it out, we also got Munchables doing Recap, which is a really awesome show. If you miss out on any of the LPL, but you know, we got some more personal content that'll come out as well.
Yeah.
That we're planning to.
By the way,
create.
if any of you folks in the chat do have recommendations of places we should go see, we're 100%
Dude,
down for that
already
as
got
well.
such a big list stacked up.
I'm down to add a bit more. We're supposed to go do some archery and stuff as well.
Oh,
we got a lot on
man.
our list that we have to go and try and get to.
I mean, there's a cool place near the Natural History Museum that does really nice. I think it's Shanghainese food.
Is this
So
the
a
place
little bit
we
sweet.
went to already?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was super
really good.
cheap. That was like
Yeah.
really, because I love when I go to a new country, when I go and explore, I love getting in like natural food. Right. I hate westernized stuff where it's like, you know, for a good example is when I came to Shanghai 9-10 years ago as a 15, 16-year-old, and we went on tours, and then afterwards they gave me like really basic food, or like you get the, what's a great example?
Like chicken nuggets and chips or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that stuff. You know, you go out and explore, and it's like, great. I've gotten in a lot of the culture, and I'm eating chicken nuggets. Great, that's fantastic. And this, you say, is Shanghainese food?
Yeah,
no.
yeah. This
So-
is our finest Shanghainese tomato ketchup.
I love like real food. You know, places on, you're just walking through the street and you run into a place that has
the
you know,
hole
like
in the wall.
cheap. Yeah. Which, I mean, saying it's a hole in the wall sometimes has negative connotations, but it's really just like
not at
a
all.
nice surprise.
Yeah.
I had a really nice noodles the other day, where I just walked into a place randomly and they're like 20 kwai, which is, for Australians out there, the equivalent of about $4 for this gorgeous plate of
And then
noodles.
For
with beef.
Europeans, it's what? Maybe
2.5 euros.
460? No, sorry. What am I saying? 260. Sorry.
260 euros.
Yeah.
What's the exchange rate?
You're looking at like basically
Half?
if
A bit more than half.
so 10 yuan is about €1.30.
Yeah. Okay. Well, 10 yuan for me is like $2 something.
Yeah.
Might be like 260. No, it's not that much. About 220.
Yeah.
Exchange
And then
rate
for the
differs.
UK folk, you got to work it out yourself because I
Yeah.
don't know
do
what the
your
exchange rate is for
pound
pounds.
stuff. I think
Yeah.
pound is like Australian dollars. double for a pound, or close to. I don't know, Australian dollar's really not worth anything. Sorry to all the Aussies out there. Our money sucks. You go overseas and you're like, why is it not holding up? What's going on with our economy? We got 24, 25 million people. Do something. Obviously, that's not how the economy works. But, yeah, there's a lot more I want to do in Shanghai. We are, just as an update, waiting for us to get back into game. WE won Game 1, and Game 2's only just started with some pretty interesting comps, but I want to see them in action first. I think the biggest thing for me, though, coming back, because being in Shanghai and experiencing all the food has been really, really cool. Some of the best meals I've had are either holes in the wall or, like, local cuisine.
Yeah.
Like, I've had some really good, like Cantonese food while being here.
That's the thing that I love is that, like, when you're in Shanghai, there's so many different styles of food. Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I came over here. But, like, as I said, like, Cantonese, Shanghaiese, you've got Hunan style food. You've got even
we've had a lot of hot pot,
hot pot Chengdu food.
Oh, dude! I mean, the spice that gets you on the day after.
Yeah, they kind of like separate it out into like numb spiciness, which is like the Szechuan pepper, and then you've got more fragrant spice, which is so like you kind of figure out what you want and what you're feeling. So there's so many different styles, which is really, really cool to see, and definitely as a guy who wants to try new food and try different things, it's great.
The cool thing is for me, because back in Sydney, I find that there's limited options for any cuisine around the world. Like a limited option for like good Mexican food or like good Indian food. Even around my area, any sort of Chinese food is just so rare. Like it used to be a bit more popular, but good food is hard to come by unless you want to pay like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a meal, which I think is ridiculous. Here in Shanghai, we've had some really good Mexican food. Yep. Like we've gone around and we've had some, really, really nice Mexican food.
Yeah, Tacolicious is pretty good.
Yeah, I've also, all right, little shout out there, fair enough. I'm sure people will enjoy that. But ladies and gentlemen, we do apologize for the delay once again. My legs are crossed as I hear the cameras coming back to us, but you can't see that, so we'll just move that down. That was very uncomfortable, but yeah, we apologize for the delay, and yeah, I don't know, I was enjoying our food chat, so we'll find out what the delay is exactly. Everyone in the same arena, so we haven't had a big pause for a while.
No, it's been a while.
I think we have had one in summer. You and Joe had it, or you and maybe Joe and Jordan. It wasn't me.
Potential. I think it was Joe and Jordan. I think I managed to just about skirt around it, but
yeah,
it's been a while.
So
excuse me.
You know, there is a lot to talk about with WE. Sometimes, I think after Game 1, just in this series, the expectation is that DMO will, try and bounce back. But the confidence in a team like DMO right now is not rewarding. But we did see Xiaopeng go mid. He burned a flash of Teacherma, and that was history.
Yeah, it's going to be a case of, like, can they try and follow up on that flash, on that play that's just happened? I don't see why they shouldn't be able to. I mean, the thing that we talked about already is when you've got this Lee Sin versus Volibear matchup, it becomes a little bit easier for the Lee Sin to interact with these lanes. So he should have at least some advantage. I'm curious. Are we back into game? Oh, we did it!
Yeah, we are. Oh, my God. We missed first blood. Well, we're going to find out what happened there. Is Teacherma going to die? I don't think this is the play. Teacherma?
How did we get to 6.5 minutes in?
I'm not sure.
I feel like we've missed a bit.
We have missed a bit, but might be screwed as well. Jiumeng has flash, and they walk away. So there's a lot to replay as Teacherma's still top and kick into the wall. Sonic Wave resonating strike, and he's dead as well. 3-0 DMO and replay required.
So as you all know, DMO got 3 kills. So I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, we're 6 minutes, 7 minutes into the game now. Ultimates are available. They've been used.
Holy moly.
Gee, I think
this is like trying to watch The Matrix.
I think the guys with the claymation got a bit ahead of themselves. So when you record these claymation movies, sometimes you record bits out of sync with each other just because it's easier to do. And that's what we're seeing here. So Morgan does get caught out. We talked about already. Well, Chelizi's level 6 is super, super strong. Beishang tries to follow up, goes too deep.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah, and then because of all these extra experience and bits that Xiaopeng's picked up here, he gets the level 6 and then is able to make that repeat gank. So all that gold funneled into the top lane for DMO and should shut down Morgan's progression towards that super carry in that top lane at least a little bit and give Chelizi an easier time for the moment.
That was not well played by Morgan or beishang and up both of them with mechanical failures towards that top lane. And as you mentioned, Chelizi with 2 kills has the Tiamat coming back to lane. Even picked up turret plating there, and Xiaopeng just the benefactor picking up the final kill onto Teacherma. Top side of the map for WE, an early disadvantage with 1,500 gold in the back pocket of DMO and this Rift Herald secured.
Yeah, Xubin and Yui had already moved first to get towards that top side, so now they can rotate back down bottom side. Jiumeng and Missing aren't able to like push in fast enough here with that recall to try and get in place for themselves, so DMO will pick this up relatively easy for themselves. As I want to... Ooh, hang on a second.
Things are going through. Missing with the blind hook, but the blast cone taken just in time. Yui sends thumbs up and even dodges away from the Void Seeker.
Yeah. So pushing bot lane here means that DMO will have to be a little bit careful, although they do just spot beishang moving out towards that top side of the jungle, so they can shove this in pretty aggressively now and try and make sure that they're all going to be okay. I'm curious to see, however, where Xiaopeng wants to try and use this Rift Herald, because in my opinion it should be tried to use mid to get Cassiopeia up and rolling, but you have a bunch of options here.
Yeah, super early in the game. Picked up the Rift Herald on spawn as well. It kind of shows you how much that top side meant. As Morgan only with the Phage has to pay the respect to Chelizi. Receive the wave while beishang is towards the top side of the map, but a level disadvantage already created through the kill. beishang will just be clearing his wave. So now that we've kind of established what happened, we can talk about comps a little bit again, because I mentioned how the team fighting feels like DMO could kind of position towards. Cassiopeia with the Wukong, with how Ashe can play out the mid to late game. DMO with already an early lead on one of their team fighters.
So again, we're getting Xiaopeng doing really good work for DMO, and I love actually how strong this guy has become. Lee Sin has been a pretty hefty and contested pick for this guy because he does have such strong early game performances on this, and now it looks like, as we talked about, trying to use this Rift Herald mid to get some more control over towards Twila and get some gold into his pocket.
Still waiting there, waiting to put it over the wall.
Yeah, look at where WE is though. They know that this play is going to happen. You've got both Morgan and beishang who are running down that river to see if they could try and interrupt this.
Spotted out. So nice scrying ward there from Missing. And gives time for beishang to back away as well. On the other side, Teacherma, he hit 6 before. We also saw him go to the top side, getting out of lane key. Well, now Xiaopeng's mid, Yui as well.
Just trying to see if they can get as many of these turret plates down before that Rift Herald comes out, but I mean, you got Teacherma, Missing, and beishang all here now, so going to make it a little bit more difficult for them to push in. But you can see DMO, this entire team is playing so heavily towards Twila in this game, but we'll have to see if Twila on this Cassiopeia can still have the same impact. I do not want to see him go for what he does every time in Cassiopeia, though.
Destiny. Yui's going to be caught out here. Box laid down onto 3 members. This could be the kill, but walks away. Now over the wall, Missing, followed up on. Xiaopeng has to flash himself, but the burn's enough. A messy, messy early game, and now we're seeing topside. Morgan going to hook shot away. Chelizi follows it up with a second knock-up. The damage quite massive there.
He's just waiting on cooldowns. He can go for the play underneath the tower, but not 100% confidence with the healing that's come through. Time War Tonic doing work there for Morgan.
DMO being very proactive, but WE walking into danger consistently.
So Rift Herald will not quite take mid lane turret, but all that gold funnels straight in towards Twila, which is going to be wonderful for the Cassiopeia. We do see this play here where Yui does get a bit overzealous when he goes in. Oh, grounded from Twila as well. Great call from Twila. Doesn't mean Yui escapes here, and they can then make this turnaround play. I feel like Missing flashed a little bit too early there. If you just accept the play coming through from Xiaopeng, wait for beishang to hit with the ultimate, then flash over the wall, might have been a lot better, but either way, still plays and wins coming in for DMO.
Yui just keeps roaming towards the mid lane.
He did it!
What?
Twila didn't go GLP on Cassiopeia.
Hey.
I am so glad we finally see this, because every single time DMO play and Twila's on this Cassiopeia, he goes for that GLP, and it's such a funky item to try and play with on Cassiopeia. I'm so glad he's finally going towards this later game build, and also just something that works so much better with the way Cassiopeia wants to play.
True. I mean, I've seen enough Twila to know that there's many variations of his builds on many different champions. So
watch him now build the GOP.
Yeah, on top. Yeah. DMO pick up Dragon. This early game going well for them, but again, we want to see it go beyond the early game. So 13 minutes in with a 2.5k gold lead as they look to invade and take everything on the map. Blue buff given over to Twila as well, who is currently 15 CS over Teacherma.
So we're still waiting for WE at least to ramp up a little bit. So Jiumeng needs to get to 2-3 items. Same with Morgan, where he needs to try and get up and rolling. So that's why we're seeing Xiaopeng have such a good start in this game. Is he pretty much has 3 lanes that he can play super heavily through, and has been benefiting massively as a result. But if DMO were able to keep this snowball rolling, you can already see 3,000 gold lead for them. They should be in fantastic shape to keep going. And that's why I want to see this pressure now starting to change towards the top side of the map, especially with this Rift Tower coming up. But it looks like they're looking towards a play on bottom side, see if they can get a couple of these plates, or even maybe the tower off of a pick on bottom side.
Beishang hovering around. Xiaopeng was doing the exact same. Wave pushes in. Xubin and Yui are the first to move, while Xiaopeng still behind Twila. Good to see this mid 2 versus 2 continuing forward. The tower plating will fall down while Petrifying Gaze is available into a corner. Teacherma goes, he looks away from Medusa, and that was easy as that.
Yeah, and it keeps his tower up as well. See beishang even keeping himself just beside Teacherma there in case something went awry, but still, we will have DMO topside looking towards this Rift Herald, whereas beishang is trying to play more down towards this bottom side.
You can see Teacherma, the only person pick up tower plating. WE didn't get much of any gold throughout this early game.
So WE need to make a play now where they know, right, we're going to have Xiaopeng on this Rift Herald that's just been spotted by Morgan. Teacherma needs to clear this wave. I think they just give up mid lane turret and try and find some pick somewhere. You do have the Destiny available for Teacherma. You know DMO are committed topside. You could look for the dive bot with beishang already covered.
Second Herald. All right. Kind of just waiting. I'm still suspicious.
So, yeah, I'm surprised that we don't see it from WE, because mid lane turret isn't a massive... Oh, hang on. No. Mid lane turret isn't a massive factor for WE's game plan. Like, they're looking to play through side lanes. They're happy to have Jiumeng in a longer lane here where they can just soak up a bunch of gold and experience in the long run. So losing that mid lane turret isn't the end of the world. You're going to lose it anyway. I would have preferred to see them try and make something happen with Teacherma.
Herald going to be placed down topside. Meanwhile, Morgan cancels back to walk all the way back. Chelizi has Trinity Force, so there's no way he sticks around. And it's going to give more gold to the Wukong.
And look at the difference in items when you do look at Chelizi versus Morgan. Chelizi's got the Triforce and the Tiamat completed.
2k gold
whereas,
ahead.
yeah, Morgan's only just finishing off, or hasn't even finished off the Trinity Force for himself.
Morgan got a hook shot, but that means you can be set up for Cyclone, as Destiny will be the follow-up. Still see Xiaopeng still get the disengage Hextech ultimatum into the backline. Hit 3 as he stops at mid-spin and gets shut down, giving the gold over to Morgan.
So they will get something back in WE's favor, but not really as much as they would like. It's not like there's an objective up they can really go towards, and it looks like it's, well, they're rotating Jiumeng and missing up towards this top side, which means bot lane turret will go over towards DMO here eventually.
Curious to see if WE manage to get the top side. They've got Jiumeng up there themselves. Morgan going to match. I'm
surprised to see Xubin and Yui back off here. I feel like if they want to, they just continue to crack open these side lane structures instead. But it looks like they're going to instead swap up to match where Jiumeng are missing.
Guess Chelizi wants to stay in that matchup. But Trinity Force now picked up for Morgan, so it's going to be a very different matchup at that. We've seen variations in the build, sometimes Ravenous first, sometimes Trinity Force. It is the latter this time around. As WE to get this turret first, get their first turret of the game.
And that's where I'm kind of curious as to why DMO didn't just commit towards the bottom lane turret. You would have just traded 1 for 1, it all would have been fine. And you were already kind of too late to get towards this. But as you said, they're prioritizing having Chelizi in a side lane against Morgan and trying to keep Morgan in check. Because at the moment you can already see a level advantage for Chelizi, the farm advantage, gold advantage. And as long as they can just make Morgan have a bit of a hard time, they can keep trying to find these fights where they will be stronger.
Stop the Camille from having so much pressure and then WE being able to play around it. Something that DMO failed to do in spring with Natural in the top lane, but Someone who hasn't failed this game is Xiaopeng with a bit of a highlight. Now, I keep forgetting what this is, but I'm going to assume 2 assists. He's got 100% kill participation. Let's say kills. Let's go kills. Kills or assists. He's got 2 of them. He's got 2 of both, actually.
So the thing here for DMO is it's about trying to find these opportunities to draw WE into a fight. You can see Teacherma on this side lane already, trying to create pressure. They've now opted for Morgan in this bottom side. And they need to find a way to force fights quick before Teacherma with Demolish is going to be able to take down these structures.
Yeah, which he's doing so quickly. Petrifying Gaze again, looked away from, but the damage that comes out, even with a flash over, to go golden will only delay time for the rest of WE to come on in. Teacherma does not survive, but Twila runs into danger with the flash bear smash. It's a shutdown to the 80 carry. TP in the middle of this from Chelizi. That's only the clone to get hooked on in, as WE will trade 1 for 1. Well, Xiaopeng's coming down from Morgan. Can he 1v1 him?
I don't know if he can. I mean, the Triforce already there. You could see Xubin trying to aim up for an arrow, so maybe with that CC chain they could have, but I mean, right now, WE bought time, right? They do trade 1 for 1 and Twila into Teacherma. They got that teleport out of Chelizi, so overall, WE do come out ahead in that trade, and it's buying time for Morgan to get some more farm into his back pocket, so we'll have to see if they can at least keep drawing DMO around the map like this. But that's a bit of a harsh moment and a bit of a harsh wake-up for Teacherma, who's like, right, well, I can't just go towards these towers without some sort of vision, because Twila is able to run me down so easily. Yeah.
Still did a bit of damage, but we're getting towards the Lichbane stage here for the TF to keep in mind. After that shutdown going to Jiumeng, picks up the Guinsu's Rage Blade. So 2-item Kai'Sa. Second time around that DMO have given large shutdowns to key carries of WE. That's also something to bear in mind. Still about 2,500 gold lead for DMO in this early game, but things are slowing down a little bit, all things considered with the picks that we've seen on our screens. Getting back to some standard lane state with bottom lane sitting mid and clearing waves.
And the good thing for DMO is that in 3.5 minutes, they can force WE into a fight. Ocean Soul Point is going to be available for DMO. You do not want that going over as WE. So at least at that stage, DMO can shove out waves, try and group nice and early for that objective before WE can try and answer in the side lanes.
They do miss out. WE, all they can think about is, all right, well, at least it's not the soul itself. But yeah, there's definitely building towards a fight in 3 minutes. As DMO controlling topside river and jungle for now. WE holding position down bot. Chelizi just sitting against the turret. And for WE, you can see Teacherma just still tries to find an avenue for some lane.
I do want to point out as well for WE, we were talking about the side lanes a lot. When you look towards their team fighting though, you still have a lot of dive pressure, even with Morgan and this Camille. And a lot of kind of just screw this one guy in particular. So if Twila doesn't have that cleanse available, think about, you know, Teacherma destinying in. You've got beishang who can then follow up, Jiumeng who follows up Morgan with that Hextech ultimatum as well, where you just go, right, we're just going to fight you, Twila, we're going to take you out. And then the rest of the damage from DMO isn't quite there. You're relying pretty heavily on this Ashe, who's not going to be a late game carry. Same with Chelizi on this Wukong. So maybe there is an opportunity here where they can blow up Twila super quickly and not have to worry too much about these fights.
At least you have a bit more survivability when he does go towards, you know, the potential something like this on his Hourglass. Or also he's got the Rylai's plus the Seraph's Embrace for the shield. So it does become a little bit harder for WE with their damage state at the moment to hit something like that. As Colonel's on the bandwagon for DMO. He's looking at the jungle matchup yet again, and the stock has risen 23% as Morgan finds an engage. Destiny used well, and Xiaopeng caught on out. Now, when you have a TF and a roaming Camille, you probably shouldn't be that far forward without your team.
Definitely not, and especially with a minute 20 until this dragon, it means that WE can get a bunch of vision control in and around this dragon. Makes it a lot easier for them to reenact that game plan, especially if they can get a sneaky ward in for the Morgan or Teacherma, where you can get in nice and back in behind DMO and set up for another pick opportunity.
You know the 3 kills for WE have all been shutdowns? Xiaopeng just gave a shutdown to Jiumeng again. Jiumeng's going to have a lot of gold, and he's ahead in CS over Xubin. Now a level lead is there. Jiumeng's going to be big in these fights, and this was a good pick from WE. It caught Morgan off guard.
And I'm surprised to see the split decision from DMO. where you can look at Yui, who's gone up towards that Baron to get a ward there to make sure that WE aren't going towards it, but it doesn't matter. Like, WE's composition does not do Baron. If they ever get caught in the pit like that, they're dead. Yep. So instead, you should just be grouping as this 4-man unit or 3-man unit to make sure you're not opting into opportunities where Teacherma can make plays like this, or even Morgan can come in with that TP play.
Damage is only going to get worse. I'll correct myself. It was Xiaopeng who was caught off guard. Morgan had a really nice flash with a hook shot, wall shot. Kind of just stutter steps in front of Xiaopeng, so he couldn't flash before the Hex Deck ultimatum came in. But now, as you're mentioning, you know, the setups here, WE going to leave Teacherma on the sideline. Let's go. This is so fast with the Lich Bane. Now completed and full stacks of Rod of Ages. DMO will get the Ocean Dragon, leading to Ocean Soul. Teacherma demanding respect. Everyone from WE still pushing and closing that gold gap.
It does put a lot of pressure onto WE where they're like, right, this is now becoming an issue where if the Dragon Soul goes over to DMO, our opportunity to find these plays in side lanes or even find an opportunity for picks becomes a lot more difficult. But I think overall, I'm kind of liking the play from WE where it's more about getting these towers down and creating more pressure on the map. It's definitely given this window of opportunity for the team fight style of DMO to now force WE into that spot.
So 4 minutes 20 until that comes across. Across the Baron also sitting there. 2 members mid. Look at where beishang is. beishang just off in the side, ready to jump in somewhere. Teacherma constantly splitting as well. And we got 2 split pushes for WA.
I like this from DMO though. Right, bottom lane turret, whatever. That's a fine, we can give that up. They're posturing towards this Baron, and they do that Baron incredibly fast with the Cassiopeia and that Blade of the Rune King completed for xubin as well. So you have to be cognizant at all points in time for WE about that Baron take potential.
I want to see DMO confidently pull the trigger, Dagda. I just want to see DMO be strong, you know? And this is my greatest concern, is a DMO with another great early game. And I hope they're able to snowball that into a victory and pull off one of those fights that we've yet to see.
It's going to be hard, though, because WE aren't really giving them that opportunity to find it. Just playing off through side lanes, we even saw them gifting over that last dragon.
Yep. Patient.
Now, that 3-minute dragon in 3 minutes time will be one that DMO will look to again force WE into that fight, but if WE don't opt into it, you get Ocean Soul. Like, DMO are so strong, and then they turn towards Baron, and then you're like, right, now you really have to fight us. So DMO are now in a position where, fun and games aside, WE, you will have to try and come towards us eventually.
I was looking towards Twila, walking over Vision, with pings getting spammed by WE. DMO sent it right back because they're over Baron, they've cleared out Vision themselves, they're trying to lull WE in. As for some reason, the Void Seeker, it's when it gets upgraded. I believe it's when it gets upgraded, yeah. You don't see the particle.
Yeah, it's strange. It's just a spectator bug, yeah, at the moment. I think she'd be disabled otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, Morgan is down on this bottom side, going to be split pushing to his heart's content. Twila is positioned up on this top side, so shoving in this wave, keeping himself posted towards Baron, but looks like WE might be trying to make a play here.
Teacherma right in the middle of the pit. WE have control. He's racing up towards with Destiny Availed. Petrifying Gaze will be used, but cleansed away immediately. Teacherma is walking away, is flying in his Jiumeng. He cleanses from the Petrifying Gaze, survives for now. That's the kill as he flashes away, but DMO may have found their fighters. That hook shot doesn't connect from Morgan. Was horrible. Even the Volibear is going to go down. They layer up the CC, and DMO have this fight. It feels like WE just missed everything. The Dark Passage connects, and Chelizi just wants to find Jiumeng. Poke again. Death sentence, but missing. Is going to sacrifice his life like a good support.
It does mean DMO, though, will find that fight they've been looking for so damn long. Can turn towards the Baron as well. And WE opting into this play where they didn't really need to go for it. Jiumeng, though, off on the side here. Smite is available for Xiaopeng.
He came through a ward. They know he's behind. Spotted out on another.
And I was surprised to see WE try and force this play so heavily. Twila does a reasonably of a difference.
Coming from the bottom lane of DMO. And here in this game, they've got the Baron, they've got the Gold Bleed once again. Ocean Soul coming up in 5 seconds. Everything back up and available, but a lot of key flashes down for WE. DMO the same, but they've got their ultis too, and they've hit some big points with 3 items on Twila. Now forcing their way into the pit.
They will try and force this fight in a second with Xubin. They're trying to be careful of the flanks from
Yeah, he wants
WE.
to steal it away, but it's secured. Ocean Soul given over just like that. The first kill already comes through. Petrifying Gaze might not connect, but Morgan's going to die as well after using his own ulti. And WE lose 3, and with it, that could be the game in future.
Yeah, they're just going to be able to shove in through this mid lane. You've got the wave there in a second, but yeah, DMO, Ocean Soul, the better team fighting comp. Now it's hard for WE to find that tempo moment where they can actually move into a side lane and try and push back against DMO. With these longer lanes, DMO are fine to just shove in and then group as 5 and muscle their way through these objective turrets.
They'll start with mid, 6k gold up, and that'll continue forward as WE have to let it be and give the inhibitor over as well. A good game 2 for DMO to recover. As inhibitor going down, they can now back away. And clean stuff so far.
And this is what we see so often from DMO, where if you don't respect them in the early game and they're able to get these leads, they can run away with it. This time around, Xiaopeng once again getting some pressure up towards that mid lane. We've no idea what happened from minute 2 till 7, but
True.
I mean, still Xiaopeng was the one coordinating these plays, getting DMO ahead, and then they are able to snowball this lead where beishang on this Volibear can't quite get rolling enough or get into the enemy side jungle where he can fight back for all this early game pressure coming through from Xiaopeng.
If only you can make the dragon go invulnerable like the turret. You know, turn it on. Turn the dragon into, I don't know, piece of meat. It's like a massive polymorph.
Yeah. Look, there's not much you can really say about that replay. DMO have the front-to-back fight. They're the ones that are trying to consistently find these fights. We talked about how once WE were forced to go into these engagements, they were going to lose out. And that's exactly what happened. And that's the power of Dragon Soul. That's the power of these objectives that are up around the 25 to 30 minute mark. It's why we're seeing mid-game comps come into League of Legends more often, because if you have a composition that can play towards these objectives and forcing the enemy team to fight you head on, well, it'll work out great.
Because we've talked about this so much where something like a TF or, you know, like being able to play towards side lanes doesn't matter if an LPL team groups up and forces an objective. When you have to make the response, you're always going to be the worst team. This is how they do play their comp, though, and finding out Chelizi might be a big pick. As Teacherma walks in the middle, Chelizi with a second spin. Heel's going to be burnt. Need an uppercut from the scissor leg lady. And they'll burn down the GA, while DMO might just say, hey, we should end the game while they're doing this. Gold card connects onto the real one. Re-engage. Chelizi takes him down. Oh, no. Everything wrong for WE.
And now DMO have that side lane pressure. They're going to be the ones that are pushing in on this top side. You've already got the mid inhib as well. And the call here just looks like Morgan keep pushing.
Yeah, he's going to keep going. But
it's okay. He can maybe get the tier 2.
He might get the tier 2. DMO should look to end.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're going to do. 30 seconds from Teacherma. They know that they have the advantages.
Here he comes.
Here we go.
Morgan coming back in to save the game. No Hextech ultimatum, but he's been targeted out back to the fountain with one Nexus turret remaining. beishang has his ulti, lands on in versus 3. Morgan now rejoining the fight, but a good hook once again. Xiaopeng goes golden in the nick of time with the Nexus turret. Back on the Force objective. DMO had the Ocean Soul, remember, so they don't die. WE have a fountain. They don't die either. We're in limbo.
Teacherma is up in a second now as well, so he's going to be back on the map. DMO have the wave here. They'll be looking to try and brute forward this. Chelizi with the
has TP, and he's going to stop the minion. DMO want to end it right here and now. 5 versus 5 in front of that last Nexus turret, which will be taken down by the Ashe. Back in with the Cyclone. Missing gets low. Exhausted out, and that's all she wrote. DMO to clean them up in the end. A much cleaner game to take us to a game 3.
DMO control that early game. They end up